show. I've been channeling spirit for over 30 years and recently was chosen for the 2014 book, 100 Top Psychics in America. Here's how to LOVE love your readings on this radio show. L is for let spirit lead. O is for only one question or connection per caller. V is for validate all advice of a licensed professional. And E is for enjoy the show. Stay tuned for additional announcements. Hi, everybody. This is Spirit Medium Laura. Welcome to The Mix, which is a mix of mediumship and psychic messages from me, or from Spirit, actually through me. But my name is Spirit Medium Laura. So glad to have you with us this evening. I'm going to focus in on mediumship for the first half of the show, and then I will open it more to life readings. And I have to admit, tonight is very quiet. I guess a lot of people are en route back into their normal routines after the holidays. Well, we'll see what happens with this. I say that a lot at the beginning of the show, and then whoop, everybody comes in at the same moment, and then we're busy again. So we'll see what happens. Just to remind you, you can actually be in a contest to win a free session with me. And all you have to do to join the contest is join my mailing list. And just go to spiritmediumtv.com in the upper right portion of the screen. You'll see a form. You just put your email in there, your name, and voila, you're in the contest to win. It's a monthly contest. You're not competing with everybody that's on my mailing list, just those that entered during the month of, and in this case it would be January, but if you're listening to this at a future time as a podcast or download, then it will be for the month that you entered. This month we have a winner, and her name is M. Bricky. I don't have the rest of her name. I won't give it out because I don't want to reveal her identity, but M. Bricky won, and she's already scheduled for her free session. Isn't that exciting? And she won from all those that joined the mailing list in December. And there's other great things on the mailing list. There's a lot of articles, there's announcements, there's tools that you can use to increase your success in life and or heal. So, it's not only just getting on there because you'll be in to win, but also there's a lot of stuff. There's sales. Sometimes I have sales, and I only mention them to members of my mailing list, like a closed sale for members of my mailing list as a courtesy to them. So there's a benefit for being there. If you want to watch this show live, which is absolutely riveting, I might add, just go to spiritmediumtv.com, and item number 2 on that page will allow you to listen and watch at the same time. Item 2 on spiritmediumtv.com. So I'm going to talk a little bit about tonight's inspiration. And lately, I'm all about this whole idea of co-creating with universal mind, which is way beyond the law of attraction. Okay, so if you're ready to graduate, listen up. Okay. The other day, I was in a deep sleep, and I was awakened with a very clear message. I'm assuming it was coming from Spirit, because I didn't ask for this. And the message was all about how to create using your subconscious mind. And I was told that your subconscious is always writing out into the superconscious mind of God, writing out or imprinting this superconscious mind. That's our reality, basically. None of you would argue that Einstein said that everything is energy. And recently I just heard I might have said this last week, I don't remember, so if I did, please forgive me, but Deepak Chopra postulates that everything is conscious, and this is God. Consciousness is God. In his new book, The Future of God. That's Deepak Chopra. So we blend it all together, blah, 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 and what do we come out with? God, or our reality, our experience, we are dealing with a conscious universe. It is something we can co-create with. Wow, what a concept. Let's think of that. Let's sink in for a moment. You mean that our reality is not fixed? That's what I'm saying. Reality is not fixed. You know, you may think that desk or that you're next to, or that chair you're sitting on, or the phone that you might be listening to this show on, or your computer, you might think that that's all solid, but really it is a co-creative mechanism. You're co-creating through your expectations, through your belief systems, and through what's called race consciousness. We are always co-creating. We're creating with God, or we're creating with the conscious universe. And so how do you tap into that? Like, think about it. God, this is like winning a $50 million lottery when you think about it. How do I shape my reality? Well, it's very simple. Go into meditation. You can find some great ones on YouTube, or if you'd like, before you go to bed. But you need to be in a very dreamy, sleepy, relaxed state, and get into that state. Whatever mechanisms you have, I use meditations, or sometimes I do it as I'm falling off to sleep. And then think about what you really want. Okay. And think about, this is a new thing I didn't say before. Think about whether you believe it's possible. Okay. And if you don't think it's possible, it means you need to get that want into something that you do think is possible. Because if we're wanting something in our life that we're frightened of, or we're not set up to have, then it's not going to happen. We do have to believe it's possible. And then tell your subconscious, hey, yo, subconscious, this is possible. This is something I really want, and it really is possible. The only thing we haven't done yet, you and I, me, myself, and my subconscious, is we haven't really discussed it, okay? And we haven't sent it out to superconscious mind. So if you don't believe it's possible, you have to go back to the drawing board to figure out what needs to change. Maybe you need to take some steps on your end, okay? And then you project this. You tell your subconscious, this is what you want. It is possible. And then you project it from there. You tell your subconscious, go co-create that with the superconscious mind of God, or the conscious universe is another way to put it. And that is, in a nutshell, co-creation. And that has the potential to bring to you most anything you believe is possible. And a lot of people have said, oh, the reason the law of attraction doesn't work is because your beliefs do not support it as a possibility for yourself. But no one really discusses how to reprogram. Well, this is a way to do that. This is a way. First, you need to see or test the feeling, see if you feel it's possible. If you don't feel it's possible, then you need to create something in your life that is a bridge, or that makes it possible. So today, I was working with a client, lovely young man, only 21 years old, and it was a mediumship session. How the heck did I go from mediumship to co-creation? Lord only knows. But I'll tell you, well, actually, I'm going to tell you how. So there he is, and the first thing that happens is his mother pops in. I'm like, oh, he's so young to have lost his mother. And there was a lot of information she provided, most of which that losing his mother at such a young age had caused him to lose confidence in himself. He had taken it personally. Okay, taken it personally. How the heck could you take that personally? Well, if a child loses a parent to spirit, they don't have rational mind. They take it as abandonment. Plus, there were things in his mother's behavior that he thought he was responsible for her behaving this way, or leaving Earth early, that he had caused her unrest in some way. And I won't go into too much detail on it, but just suffice it to say, he was a normal child who acted up or acted out, and mom, instead of coping with that in a calm way, was self-medicating. So there, the rest of the story. That's all I need to say. But so as we were going through this healing process with him, by virtue of bringing in his mother, then his mother starts to talk about him being successful. And she tells me that I have to teach him how to do this law of attraction co-creation. What he wants to be, well, I was told that he's a very creative person. He told me, yes, I am. I want to be a musician. I am a musician. I said, so then all this stuff comes out, but what he should do with this. And I said, well, let's do the co-creation. And I said, first of all, do you believe this is possible? And I gave him a goal. Like within the next 6 months, you would submit a song you wrote to a valid record producer. And he said, no, I don't think that's possible. So I said to him, okay, well, what do you think is possible? He said, well, I need to do this and that first. Okay, so you see what I'm saying is he peeled it down to layers that he thought was possible. And then when I said to him, well, if we have all these things in place, do you think it is possible that you could have one of your songs produced? And then he said, yes. When you get to that point, then you're ready to talk, have a conversation with your subconscious mind, and tell it to co-create. Tell it to go out and make it happen because it's possible. So what you're doing in this process is you are reprogramming your beliefs. You are instructing your subconscious to go out now and co-create with the universal mind or the consciousness of God or whatever you would like to call that thing in which we all live in, which is responsive, this energy, to our thinking, our belief systems, and our thoughts. And without further ado, I'm going to go to the first line, and just as usual, the lines have filled in a lot. And I'm going to ask Susie, honey, could you go to 707 and 502 and find out who's waiting there? I appreciate that, darling. Okay, I'm going to Evelyn. Hello, Evelyn.
Hi.
Hi, honey. Okay, you're from area code 559. Where's that? Just making a little bit of talk here just to break the ice.
In California.
California, okay. Are you on my mailing? Oh, how nice.
Yes,
are you on my mailing list?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Wonderful. All right, Evelyn. So we're here to make an other side connection for you. And let's see what we get. Well, I'm feeling more of a mother figure to you. I also do feel another parental. Start again, Laura. I have a different accent than yours, Evelyn, but it's not that different. I feel a father figure as well, which could be a grandpa, but I feel very strongly that there's a mother figure for you, and that could be a grandma or someone else. It may not be who you want either. I'm trying to see who else is there. There's somebody else there. Whoever it is not popping through right now, but there seems to be somebody else who's more of a peer or younger energy to you, feels male as well. Now, when I say peer energy, I mean in your age group. When I say younger, that's obvious, younger. So let me just go, who's going to step forward first? Okay, so there is a woman who looks like she's more of a senior type. Her hair is layered off the face. It's not very long, though. It ends just around the nape of the neck, and it kind of goes up. It's kind of a steel gray to, like salt and pepper to steel gray kind of look, as a wave to it. She has high cheekbones, and she has a pointed nose, a strength to it, but it's in proportion to her features, and she has a strong brow. She also shows me the brow not only because it's literal, but also to indicate that she's very smart and educated woman. She's a squareness to her shoulders. She's slender in her physique, and she's about mid-height. Do you understand this woman, for anyone you would know, please?
It sounds like my grandmother. I never had the privilege to have met her, but it seems like you would be describing her.
Okay. And sometimes she is here to say hello. She does want to say hello. There's something about wine and wine country. Do you live near wine country? Is something going on with wine in your life? It's kind of interesting.
The wine country is about an hour and a half from me, and I've been contemplating going with some friends.
Oh, okay, because she talks about that. She's just trying to pop in and say hello, and she says that would be good for you. I don't mean to go in that direction, but I go where they take me. And she is sort of an ambassador from the other side for someone else that you are more wanting to speak with. I'm going to see if she will bring that other soul in for us. Quite often, these more senior people in our line bring in people that are closer to us. And so, as I say that, I do feel the figure of, I don't know if there's a woman that is younger to her that is in spirit, and it could be also younger to you when she left Earth. I don't know yet. I'm going to just develop that for a second, and I'm going to come back to you and see if that's who you want, because we're trying to bring in who you want here on this show, not just who comes in. So I give you a lot of latitude with that. I give you a lot of airtime for that, Evelyn. So just bear with me for a moment. Okay, there is a woman here who looks, she's not that tall. She may be 5'5", the tallest 5'4". She reminds me a lot of, in appearance, Judy Garland. She's an innocence to her, the way Judy Garland looked in The Wizard of Oz. She's got dark hair, fair skin. She's rather buxom. In other words, a strong bust line. She's very fair-skinned, and she's got full lips. And let me see, would you say anything else, please? She's not Judy Garland, obviously, and she's not that old, okay? She's just using that image to give me something to work with. Give me a quick, broad stroke of it. And she does, there seems to be a Cancer with her, or wasting away, and she also seems to present as a mother figure to you. Do you understand this woman, please?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is jump to who you want, okay? Who are you wanting to speak with?
I think it's the younger male you said, you mentioned earlier that he was wanting to,
okay.
He was hesitant.
Yeah. He is kind of there, but he's sort of poking in and out, not really showing. So that would be, let me see here.
He would be 30. If he were alive, he would be 32. He passed away at 30.
Yeah, don't tell me. I didn't mean for you to answer. I'm just going to spirit. Just let me see, honey. He doesn't feel like he's directly your brother. Okay, I don't feel he's your brother directly. Yeah, like more of a friend of the family, he's saying. And that woman that I just described with the dark hair and the light skin, she's related to him in some way. Okay, that she's his mother or she's somehow in the family line for him. I just want to present that. You may not know who it is off the top of your head. So let me see if I can pull him in. Do you want to come in, sir? Okay, so what I see is a cow. The hair is brown, and it seems to have a lighter tone to it, like as if there's a lot of golden highlights, or cow toad, I guess is the term. It's an old-fashioned term of saying like hair that's not quite blonde and not quite brown. It's somewhere between with a lot of golden highlights. The hair also has some waviness and a little bit of it's a little bit on the coarse side, with some waviness and a little bit of frizziness, if you will. There's something else here. You got to show yourself to me, sir. Okay, this is something to do with breathing and choking that goes with this. Choking. Problem around the neck area. He's hurting me right now, trying to give me that. And as the word combustive or combustion comes in, but he's not presenting that clearly, as you can tell. Okay, usually they just pop in and they're very easy to bring through. He says that he's on a path in spirit to learn a lot more about himself. He says that whatever he did on earth was wrong and he needs to learn a lot now. And that's why he's sort of not flowing that easily. He's trying to understand a lot of what happened to himself on earth. He's still trying to assimilate these things. He's not quite sure why this happened or what he did wrong to cause it. And he seems to indicate that there was something he did that was causing his transition to spirit. And he also uses the terminology dispersion of energy, my transition. He calls it dispersion of energy as I transition. He says he's not quite sure what he did wrong, but he feels that he did something wrong to cause this to himself. Now, that could mean a myriad of things. Okay. On the broadest level, it could be indicating the mind-body connection that sometimes we create disease because of our attitude. On a more specific level, it could mean that he actually did something that caused his transition. I can only give you what I'm getting, of course, Evelyn, as you understand. I'm going to try to develop just a little bit more.
No, I just can't really figure this person out. I'm not really sure who it could be. So I'm just in my mind, I'm thinking, I wonder who it could be.
Okay.
And because the person I connect with was fair skin, but he had dark hair.
Okay.
Black hair.
Okay.
I'm thinking, do I know anyone with the?
All right. Well, let me just.
Golden highlight.
Yeah, that's fine. No, sometimes the hair color is not exactly correct, so just bear with me. If we only have one thing, I need to latch into him and to see if I can pull him forth. The other things he's saying are kind of there's something about his transition that he seems to take responsibility for. And as I just mentioned a moment ago, that can be taken two ways. So I don't have it nailed down to specific yet, so just bear with me. He says that his energy is not really, he's not clear yet on the other side. He's not clear yet. His thinking is not clear. He's unable to completely communicate through me at this moment. He says his energy is not clear, and he says he's learning about what he did wrong on Earth to cause such a mess in his life. These exact words he's channeling through me. He says, I did some things that caused my own passing. So now I'm going to present back to you. Does that make sense to you, please?
I would say 50-50.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to say because I don't feel I have a really good connection with him. So I'm going to let you go back into the sea of people out there because I can only pull in what I'm pulling in. Your grandma would have come in really clearly, but he's not able to fully communicate. And what he's saying is because he's learning, there's a lot of confusion and in his mind, and he still holds it. He still holds that confusion. Okay, it's like as if I'm trying to talk to somebody that I just can't get the right link to. Just is not clear. And he's saying,
that's fine.
yeah, and he's telling me it's because he's not fully assimilated yet, and that he did some things wrong to his own self and his own health that caused this problem, that caused this transition, and he's still trying to figure things out.
Okay.
All right, honey.
Well, hopefully next time I will have a clearer connection. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Evelyn.
And I'm just glad I was able to communicate with my grandmother. Thank you.
Thank you, honey. God bless. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. And that's sometimes the way it works. Okay, I'm going to go to Brenda, who is wanting another side connection. Brenda, hello.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing good, sweetheart. So let's see who's waiting for you on the other side. What I feel is a more of a friend energy or peer energy to you. I don't feel somebody very old right now. Okay, I feel somebody more lateral to you in energy, and it's whoever this soul is positioning himself or herself. But I think it's a male. Well, the position, no, it could be a female. The position of the soul is on the left, it's on the right side of your body. As I look at you, it would be, I'm looking at it, I'm seeing the person on the left from my perspective, but he or she stands on your right side of your body. And this feels like somebody that's peer to you in nature. It feels more female. The person seems more female than male in energy. And I keep hearing friend or friend of the family, somebody that you knew for some time. Let me see if this person will develop a little bit before I come back to you. Okay, friend of the family, got that. But please step forward. There's something about this person that's upset and angry about his health or her health and the way that he was taken it. Okay, so he's saying he, so it seems to be shifting to a male, taken earlier than his time. It wasn't just for him. He says that he was taken before his time, and he says there was a lot of discord or unhappiness before he transitioned. This male is about your age, not much younger, not much younger than you, but about your age, and he seems to be somebody that you're very close to on Earth. There seems to be a lot of acrimony or anger about this transition, and there seems to be something that was not fair about his going so early. I also do see this person looks like he was follically challenged in that I don't see a lot of hair on the top of the head. And it looks like the hair color in its original form was brown. Does this resonate for you in any way, please, Brenda?
No, I don't think so. I know I just lost my husband. I was hoping he would come through.
Well, why does
he had red hair, and he wasn't bald, and he was taken before his time.
Okay, well, it's your husband then. The hair. Okay, don't tell me anything else. This must be your husband, but I got the hair wrong. Okay, and the hair could be somebody else that's around him in spirit, like his own father, somebody else. So we'll leave the hair out. But there's some kind of upset around his passing, taken before his time, peer group to your peer energy around your age, and you just said your husband. Now, what were you going to say before I so rudely interrupted you, darling?
Yeah, he was taking for his time.
Okay.
You know,
So
and
there's some children also in the family, as if he's had children with you. And they don't seem too old right now, actually, or maybe when he left Earth they were younger, but they look like they're still children. Do you understand two children for you? I see two of them, actually. Do you understand two children for yourself, please?
yeah, there was, actually, I had 3.
Okay. I only see two of them right now, but that's okay. I just got a sense of more than one. And he's okay, so father 3. He says, okay, thank you, sir. Now, why do you sound, Brenda, you seem like a little bit nervous or a little bit hesitant for some reason. Is there something going on in your mind that you need to tell me, Brenda? Because you seem like a little bit tentative.
Yeah, I'm just having a hard time dealing with his death. And
oh, okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I understand, honey. All right, let's move forward with this. So here he is. There's still a lot of animosity about this, a lot of anger about this. He's trying to deal with it too, in spirit. It's not like he just transitioned and he's coming in saying, he's still at a stage of trying to adjust. And he says, and I know this is odd because usually you think once they go to spirit, everything is just Shangri-La and everybody's really happy. But he says he's still trying to understand this from a spiritual perspective. And he is going through a lot of review of his life and what caused this, why it happened to him. And it feels like it was either malpractice in terms of treatment for an illness or that it was an accident. But I get the sense of it not supposed to be this way. Not supposed to be this way. And okay, we already said taken before his time, but there's something to do with this being very unfair and unjust. I'm going to let him tell me a little bit more about why he says that, and then I'll come back to you. There was, okay, so it seems like there were health issues and that he was not treated, that he wasn't treated correctly. Do you understand, please, Brenda?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, and he says that was a malpractice practically. If he'd gotten diagnosed properly sooner, this would not have happened. It would have been an easily treatable illness, and he says it caused everyone a tremendous amount of grief. He also gives me the sense that it wasn't known that it was malpractice or ill-treated until it was almost too late. Well, it was too late. It was just too late. Too late to really do anything about it. And there he was, trying, people around him trying to comfort him, you trying to comfort him. There seems to be a lot of issues with money right now for you, that, everybody's left in the lurch. There wasn't any kind of preparation for this because he was taken before his time. He wants to give you some advice, okay, of what to do about all of these issues. May I go in that direction, please?
Yeah, sure. Uh-huh.
Okay. He says, let the family go for a while the way it is. Don't deal with anything right now. Just let things ride for a while. He says soon the dust will settle and it will be very clear what you need to do about the bills. There seems to be some bills that are outstanding. I kind of get the impression that they would have to do with medical bills as well. He says, but eventually you will wade through all of this and you'll come out the other end of it. He just recommends that right now you just try to take one day at a time. He doesn't say anything about a lawsuit or anything like that or malpractice. I don't know if you're thinking of that, or I'm just not getting it from him. But just trying to give you that kind of encouragement to take one day at a time. Things will settle down. Okay, he gives me some more information about these bills, and he says a lot of them will be forgiven. In other words, they will be wiped clean. And he gives me the impression that you're doing something to try to wipe them clean. And he says it will be done. Okay? So that makes sense to you, Brenda?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. So he gives you a big hug and a kiss. He says, I'm sorry I had to go so soon. He says all of this will be behind you. Someday you'll You won't remember it. He says, I know right now it's very difficult for you. He says, I come in sometimes at night to say hello, and with the children to say hello to the whole family. He says, if you're sensing my presence, it's because of that. Yes, I am around the house a lot.
Yeah, I don't sense them. I don't know. People say I'm grieving too much for them.
That's probably it, darling. So my prayers go out for you, Brenda, and I wish you much healing in this process. Okay, honey?
Okay.
All right, honey. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's very difficult. Okay. So we're going to now go to more life questions because we're halfway through, and also that's what I have on the switchboard. So I'm going to go to Hollis. I think I did work with Hollis. Didn't I work with you before, Hollis?
Yes, we worked together at the beginning of October.
Okay.
And I would love to work with you again in the very near future.
Okay.
And get some validation on the direction that I'm going with my new practice that I'm getting ready to launch.
Okay. So let's see what we get.
And I'm sorry?
I said, let's see what we get for you on that.
Yeah, so last time I booked the appointment, we did it by your phone. Is that okay if we do it like that again? I don't really like putting my card number on the computer.
Yeah, we can do that by phone, honey. Not a problem. And we certainly won't do it now when everybody's listening. So let's just go to your.
No.
Let's just go. So we'll go into an in-depth kind of thing for you when we work one-on-one. But today we will give you an answer.
Yeah.
So okay.
A quick question.
Sure. Go ahead.
And this is about my sibling situation and.
Yeah, it's a male, isn't it?
Deterioration.
It's a male.
Well, there's an instigator male in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it happened 2 days after I talked to you on full moon.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go. Well, let's try to make a question out of this. If you don't want to, if you can't give me one, I'll make one up for you. And I kind of get the question is, when is this going to end, or will it end? It feels like it's something that. Yeah, it goes round and round and round and round and round and round, and it's instigated by this man, but it's a person that's in your home. And if I recall, this is part memory. There's I think a female to you. I think it's your sister that's in the home. Is that correct, love?
No, they're not my home, but they're very close by.
But it's your sister.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember. I can't remember much about anybody that I work with, but it just comes. I have to I have to validate that because if I'm projecting, it skews everything. So I have to know if I'm projecting correct or incorrect. Okay. So let's just see here. When will this end, or will it ever end? Yes or no? Is this for Hollis?
Yeah.
No. Well. I don't see the end right now. What I do see, and that doesn't mean it won't end, but what I do see is this female to you feels like a hungry dragon. You keep having to feed her with something, either money or some kind of thing she's looking for from you. And it doesn't seem to ever end. It's like a furnace that needs wood, throwing it in, throwing it in, throwing it in. And the only way really to get this, to change this, is for you to set better boundaries. I need to look at why that hasn't been done yet. There may be some very good reasons. I don't want you to tell me, okay? Let me just go to that, Hollis. There's no real clear reason. I'm not sensing that you feel guilty. I'm not. The only thing I get, which is very, very vague, is that somehow she has some power over you. Either she's going to say something that could hurt you, or reveal something that could hurt you, or some kind of power she has over you. You're going to have to help me out here because it's very hidden from me. What is the problem here? I don't know.
Well, I do believe just because she is older than me, she's always treated me kind of less than.
Okay.
And I think there's alcohol behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
okay, well,
that's kind of hidden.
Okay. Well, this is the thing that you have to, Al-Anon would tell you this to set better boundaries, and she has a power over you. She's a power to manipulate. So the power is that she's trying to manipulate you and control you to give her what she needs instead of her doing for herself. And it's not going to change until you set the boundaries. Okay? So you have to care, self-care. It's called self-care, care for the self, taking care of yourself. You might want to go to a support group of some sort like Al-Anon or something like that to feel deserving to do that, because that's the big thing. Now, there's something about feeling deserving that's you don't feel deserving for some reason, and it has to do, I believe, with mother's love or the way you were treated in the home, and maybe the way mom treated the both of you. I think she favored your older sister all the time, and you feel like the second one in line or the third one in line, or you're younger than her, and you feel like a nuisance, if you will, or that you weren't supposed to be there. So you keep giving to her, giving to her, giving to her, for some reason to compensate for this. I also feel that she's very, your older sister, that she's negative, or that she claims that she never got anything, she never had anything, nobody ever did anything for her. So she's got this sort of truculent attitude of being a victim, when indeed, actually, she was indulged and spoiled.
I just want to say that I did set my boundary. I haven't spoke to her since October 9th, and I've been trying to heal since the second round of the accusations started. And I think I'm making progress, but it's a difficult situation.
It is, unless you do what's been told to you, which is you have to feel deserving. You have just as much right to happiness as she has, and you're not at fault here. You're not at fault. You've done nothing wrong. These are words being channeled in for you. You've done nothing wrong. You're not responsible for her. And there's also something about making mommy angry. Now, where is mommy right now? Upsetting.
She's in heaven.
Okay. So you might be holding some residual guilt that if you don't take care of your sister, that it would upset your mom on some, maybe some kind of a moral level. Okay. So this is complicated. It's a very complicated and very touchy thing. So those are the basic things I can hit upon, is that until you get over that feeling like it's difficult and really set yourself first. And can that be done? Can you set yourself first? You're being told you have to. For survival reasons, you have to set yourself first. You have to set you feel selfish to do that. Okay? Everybody's gotten the better of you, my dear. Everybody's manipulated the living daylights out of you,
This is a huge transference for me, because this is the first time in my life I have really stood up for myself.
Good for you.
Good for you. My large family.
Yeah.
And it's caused a lot of, disharmony, and, we were together for 54 years for every holiday. We didn't spend holidays together this year. And I don't foresee that happening in the future.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal.
Oh, sure it is. And I hear that you don't want to be alone. I mean, you want to you want to be happy with the family. So that's another thing that's being used against you or manipulated. If you don't do what she wants, then you're alone, or you've broken up the family. So, yeah, there's nothing.
That's it right there.
Yeah. So there's nothing that Spirit can do for you other than to say you are deserving, hold your ground, and get started on the project that you want to work on that's very creative. And that will help you a lot with your self-esteem to move forward with those plans. Everything eventually will find its level, they're saying to me. Spirit is saying, in other words, the sediment will fall and everything will find its right course. In particular, it looks to me like if you're not currently in a family situation, in other words, having your own spouse or significant other, that you will eventually have that in your life. So that's.
I have a family.
Okay. Well, then just
daughter and a husband.
Then just focus on that, is what I'm getting. Focus on that, and focus on your own career, and nurture and love yourself, because it's the only thing that can really be done here. Because you're not supposed to give in to them anymore. It hasn't done good for you. It hasn't solved the problem. Okay?
Right. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. How can I get a hold of you?
Just go to Spirit Medium Laura or Spirit Medium TV, and
Okay.
everything is there. Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'll be talking to you soon.
Okay, Hollis. Thanks a lot, sweetheart. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye, honey. Okay. Oh, that line's not closing. Okay, there it goes. And I am going to go to Valerie. Valerie. Hi, Valerie.
Hi, Laura. How are you?
Hi, honey. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. And how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
I have a work question for you.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm returning back to to the same place where I had a contract assignment. I took a little break from there, and I'm going back. And I just want to see how it's going to go, because I think the group that I got along with the most, they're not there any longer. And I just want to see what you see around it.
Okay.
And what's coming next.
Okay. But that's a really good feeling I get when you go back there. It's such a relief to have the contract back. It's like, yippee, 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 I got that contract back. That's a good thing. But let's see what happens when you get in the door. Well, everybody's going to be nice to you. They're very civil people, very civilized. The workload will be manageable. That was one of your concerns, because I guess they must have downsized or something. So it's really an honor for you to have been invited back, because it looks like they're a little bit less, they're a little shorthanded. It will be manageable. The people will be very nice. It looks like there's a female manager that you will have there who will be demanding, but in a civilized way, not going to be any kind of drama or any kind of out of control emotions, and everybody will be supportive of everybody else. The only thing is, I have to say, it's going to be a hard place to work because there's more work now than before, and they don't want to add headcount.
Oh, okay, because you're right. I was told that they had increased the schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're going to ask you to do a lot in the time that they're giving you to do the work. So even though they've increased your schedule, they've also increased the workload within the time. So it's going to be, I don't know if you ever saw that Lucille Ball show. It's kind of a comedy where she's on a production line for candy, chocolate, and she's trying to stuff it into the bags, and the conveyor belt moves faster and faster, and her and Ethel start shoving chocolate in their mouths because they can't put it in the boxes fast enough. Well, it's going to be a little like that, in that you're going to be just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to work at that kind of a pace.
Well, don't worry. It's not like it's going to be like that comedy show. It will be just a little bit difficult, but you'll be able to do it. I'm just letting you know that it will be a little bit more fast-paced than before. That's all. Okay? You will stay there longer than you supposed or what you were anticipating. If you want, the contract can go on for quite some while, but it feels like there's going to be something else opening up for you in this time frame. It might be more to your liking, more like a full-time job with more security and benefits. So keep your eye out for that, and that should be coming out about June. June to the summer, the end of the summer, 6 to 8 months from now. And then you may say to yourself, well, I don't really want to work in the contracting job anymore. Finally, I get a place that I can hang my hat and stay here for a while. And that looks like it will be coming in for you. Okay?
Okay. Do you see that closer to home, or is it a longer commute? Because the job I'm going back to is quite a long commute. In fact, you told me that it was almost exactly where it was going to be when I talked to you before.
Yeah, okay, let's see. Is this one that's full-time going to be closer to where she lives, yes or no? It will be. It'll be a little closer to home. Not not close enough to your liking, which would be, by the way, around the block, but certainly a more civilized commute. They say easier to get there, like within 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. So that's certainly a lot better than the commute you have right now, and it won't be that far away from you. Also, something to do with do you have any children in school now? It just feels like you have a son.
No.
Okay. Do you work in a school?
Hospital, clinic.
Oh, okay. I just get a feeling that wherever it is that you end up full-time will be close to someplace you need to be during the day in case you have to go there. So I don't know what that would be. Maybe it's just your home.
Oh,
Like as if you have to take care of somebody or somebody might need you, so you'll be closer to all the things you need. All the things you need.
Okay.
Okay?
And also, will my car hold up? Because it's quite a commute.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Well, I hear just in the nick of time you'll get the new job. But yes, your car will hold up. But in the nick of time you'll get this new job that's going to be full time with benefits and everything that you need and want. Retirement, like a 401k and all of that. And it looks like also you'll be able to afford another car after that. Maybe not immediately, but after that, within a few months. To qualify for a loan.
Hopefully, okay. Hopefully, it's a managerial position. Because I'm tired of the worker bee.
Well, I'll just answer that, and then I'm going to go on to another caller.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
but let me just give you that answer, okay? Well,
Okay.
it seems to me like it's everything you want. Okay, so I was
Okay.
yeah, and if you listen to this again when we're done, tomorrow or later tonight, it basically you're already told that it's more to your liking. It's just what you're looking for. So yes, it would probably
Great.
be managerial. Yeah, there will be some kind of transition. In other words, there will be some menial workably things about it, but it'll also be like. And I know you're more qualified than this, but since it does have all the other things you're looking for, you'll take it because within 6 to 8 months of landing it or being there, then you'll move to a higher realm. But it's like as if you have to come in and do some grunt work besides doing some management work, and then it moves more to management. So initially there'll be a bridge between what you're doing now and where you want to go. But it won't be
Oh, that
distasteful.
sounds good.
Yeah, it won't be distasteful for you. You'll be groomed to take on more responsibilities, what they're telling me.
Okay. And so the only thing going on with the job that I'm going back to is just it's going to be busy. That's the only downside.
Yeah, I mean it's money, right? Yay, yippee-yi-yay.
Oh, yes.
Well, I mean, we'll do whatever it takes to pay those bills, right? I mean, I know, I remember that I knew somebody in New York who said he worked for the federal government. He says, "I'll do anything they tell me to do. It's a job." Okay, so we do what they tell you. The good thing is, even though you're going to be everybody's under some. I don't want to make it stress, but it seems like it could be stress. Everybody's going to be in the same situation where you're being asked to do a lot in a little amount of time, or less time than really is needed. Everybody's in the same boat, so you'll all understand each other, and so you'll be supportive of each other, and nobody will be looking to point a finger at you that you didn't do it right. Everybody's in the same situation. So get ready for that, honey. Okay?
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you, love. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. And so I'm going to go to Twee. Well, that's an interesting name. Hi. Hello, Twee. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing great, darling. Thanks for asking. So we're working on your own life tonight. May I have your question?
Yes. My question is, I don't know how to word it, but basically I'm looking for a new job, and I'm wondering what you pick up.
You will get the job of your dreams, and it won't take too long. They're saying this through me. I don't know why, because it's not going to be very long. And they're also saying, why are you making such a big deal out of this? Because you know that you can get the work that you're wanting and that you're planning to get. You feel like a very organized person, that you always have your ducks in place. It feels like you have your education in place, your ducks in place, you have everything in place, and that and you already know it's not that hard to get what you're looking for. So they're saying yes, it's going to come very easily to you. Does that make sense to you, honey, from the question?
Yeah, so far it makes sense. I don't know, like, is there anything I should be doing in order to bring it to me? I've been applying, I've been, doing what I can and just trying to be patient. Is there anything else I can do or should do?
Well, I'm hearing that that you've done everything. There's nothing more to do except continue doing what you're doing. Now, let me just see something else, because they seem to think it's coming right around the bend. But I don't know how long. I don't want you to answer this. I want to check something. I won't say it because it'll tempt you to say it. Hold on for a second. You haven't been looking that long. It feels like a month or so. How long have you been looking? Doesn't feel like that long.
Well, I've been looking ever since I started my current job. Pretty much, I feel like my current job is not right for me,
Okay.
not my purpose. And so I've been looking for a long time, but I believe that at the beginning of the year, that's when there's the most opportunity out there because there's new budget, so companies or organizations have more money. So I've been like really, really looking into applying as the right opportunity comes along. I apply.
Okay, so for the last month or so, you've been really revving up for this, and that's why I feel a month or so. And change is good, they say. You will get the job that you want, and again, it feels like you're very much qualified to do what you want, and you're just a cutie. You know, you're a sweet lady. You got a really great attitude. You're very positive, and you also don't seem to get upset a lot when things don't go your way. And you're do good, hard worker. All these little things come in about your personality, and so that's why it's very positive for you. All I can say is I do see something coming in within the next few weeks. You're going to get that nibble, but then you're going to get the full bite. So get ready. You're about to pull in a big fish. Okay, sweetheart?
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for sharing.
Sure, honey. Thank you. Thanks for calling in. Bye.
Thanks for.
Bye. Okay, we're going to go to Nathaniel. Oh, by the way, if you haven't joined our mailing list and Susie didn't get to you, or for whatever reason, maybe you didn't tell her your email, you can join the mailing list to be in a contest to win a free reading. And it's a monthly contest, so I might as well just tell you also. All you need to do is go to spiritmediumtv.com, and on the upper right of that screen, you'll see a form to fill in, and you will be in to win. And there will be a drawing at the beginning of February for everybody that entered during January. And you're only competing with those that entered during January, so you have a good chance to win. Okay, let's go to Nathaniel. Hey, Nathaniel, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
Good. There is a father figure for you in spirit. Is that who you're looking to connect with?
Sure.
Okay. The way you said sure, it makes me feel like you'll take anyone who comes in, but I do hear your father is waiting to speak with you. Now, let's see here if I can get a good visual on him or something about him. There's a sense of him being
possibly in an Air Force uniform.
Thank you, Nathaniel. Don't tell me anything, sweetheart. Let me just go for it, okay? I didn't see the uniform yet, but what I do see, was kind of hard for me to understand, is he's got a big head for his body. Okay, it's like interesting. Like
That's a really big forehead.
Yeah, he's.
He have a really forehead.
Okay, well that's why, because they're giving me this image of him that's kind of it's a little bit out of proportion, in that you would notice a man with a. What was it?
Like alien-like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big head. His torso is.
He's Aries, so that's part of Aries. That's the ram. That's really, Taurus is the shoulders.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for that. So there he is, standing there with a bigger head than most people would have, or, bigger proportion to the head portion of his body. And he's got, nice shoulders, but his torso is a little bit more stocky looking, and his legs are long enough. They're not too stocky looking. So his torso is just the thing that's like in proportion, a little bit smaller to the head length, the legs are there. Now, I also see that he might have liked to wear his hair at some time a little longer. Okay, even though you told me the Army thing, it looks like he's showing me his hair as a little bit longer, and it could be at any time in his life. And there's a brown, it looks like it's brown color, and there's a little bit of a wave to it. Do you understand Dad's hair for ever being longer, please?
Sure.
Okay. Now I'm going to go to him at a different level, a little bit more detailed. Hold on for a second. Okay. He also looks like he liked to do things with hunting, or that he was good with a gun every now and then. Obviously, he was in the Army, instead of the armed services, so I do see that he looks like he liked to do things like hunt a little bit. Do you understand hunting, please, for Dad? Or is that just my image of the... Okay, you understand that as well. Okay, good. He says he's very... Dad, come in. I'm very He says I was very clean at home. I always picked up after myself. I was fastidious uh, in my personal hygiene, is what he's saying. But he also says his health. But the thing that's so funny is, as he says he's fastidious in his personal hygiene and health and clean around the house, he also shows me himself smoking a cigarette. Do you understand smoking for Dad, please?
I didn't smoke very much, but I saw him smoke a cigarette one time, though.
Okay, because what he shows me with the smoking is that he was very clean about it, and maybe that's why. Maybe he was doing it so that people didn't even know he smoked as much as he did. I don't really know, but he's clean about his personal hygiene, about his house, and the way he kept things organized and everything else. Very organized thinker, but something about the smoking with an ashtray, he was always cleaning up after himself. So he might have smoked when you weren't around at times, perhaps. I don't know. All I can give you is what I'm getting, and I don't want to make too many assumptions. But he did tell me, just for the record, that when he did smoke, he cleaned up after himself. So something about his health. He was very good with his health. He took care of himself as best as he could, even into his older years. He says he didn't like people to come and fuss over him or do things to care for him. He liked to be on his own as much as possible. He wanted to be as independent as he could be. And he also says that he hid things from people so they wouldn't think that he needed help or that he needed to be taken care of. Does that make sense to you, please, from what you know about your father?
Yes.
Okay. And then he shows me himself living sort of away, in his own home. It looks more like a cottage or something like that, or a single family. It seems small inside, but he says he was always trying to make it seem to everybody he didn't need any help, so because he wanted to be independent. He says, "You're my boy, my son. I love you very much." There's a sense of him not always being that close to you, either separate from you at certain parts of your life, and even towards the end. It makes sense to you, please, Nathaniel? Separation.
Yes, actually, the end, it was very rough because the step family and the stepmom kind of took over.
Yeah. And that's the critical thing that needs to be discussed here, is that he did miss you as well. He knows how much you suffered through that time, that he wished that he could have been closer to you. I'm not sure what you mean by the stepdad and the stepmother. You had step-parents? You had a stepmother, is that it?
Oh. Died 1177.
Oh.
So she died a long time when I was 20. And so that was long. So my dad got remarried like a year.
Oh.
He's recovered quick from things. And so him and his big horns got married.
Okay.
About 30 years ago. And he died like 20 years ago, and he left her a lot of money, stuff, houses.
Okay, so she took over, as you meant, and she kind of isolated you from him and also from his money, obviously. Probably she was concerned about that. He says, "I'm sorry that I left it all to her, or I left most of it to her." He says, "I'm sorry that I treated you the way I did. I could have done a better job of including you. It wasn't all her fault." And he says, excuse me?
That means so much. Sorry, go ahead.
It's very important, that he wants to say this to you. He says, "I still, in my life review and spirit," he says, "that was one of the things I had to contend with." He says, "I apologize to you." He says, "It was the easy road I took. I didn't want any conflict at home, and I tried to make her what was important then." He says, "I know now that was wrong." He says, "That was wrong." He says, "But this gave you an opportunity to do for yourself and make the fine person that you are of yourself." He says, "I know it's not an excuse." He says, "I know it doesn't make it easier for you. But on the other hand," he says, "that you've claimed your life and done wonderful things with it." So he's very, very proud of you, Nathaniel.
90 seconds.
Yeah. We've got about 30 seconds or so left. Is there anything I can do for you while I still have him with us?
Well, I'm just looking for a job right now. My unemployment's running out, and I'm here kind of stuck in Barstow in the high desert, where it's a lonely town out here, and I don't want to get back to the ocean or back where the action is, or and want to be able to get a job. And I'm quite
60 seconds.
But I don't know, there's a lot of jobs out there. There is.
Okay, now you're a great example of what I was talking about earlier. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to get on my soapbox. So what would be recommended, rather than me do a fortune telling, I'm going to go, which I don't like to do, I think it's disempowering. I want to remind you, Nathaniel, because you're more advanced than most people in terms of metaphysics and spiritual stuff, that when you claim something by saying it's hard to get a job, then you've made it so. So what Spirit wants you to do is to reorganize your thinking to understand that you can create anything you want. You just have to believe it's possible. So do a little work on that. You have a great brain. You have a big head too. Okay, but your head's not shaped big. You have great brain. So I'm reminding you, because I'm supposed to right now, of your magnificent creative abilities to create with the universe what you want. And I'm not going to be able to restate what I said earlier, because I have to end the show and go to a class I'm teaching, but it is on this show at the beginning. I give you specific steps to do that. Okay?
Okay.
All right, honey. God bless, and thanks for calling in. Bye.
Sweetheart, bye.
Thanks. Bye. Okay, just want to remind everybody, join our mailing list to be in to win. Go to spiritmediumtv.com. Upper right corner of that page will allow you to join the mailing list. And you're only going to be competing with everybody that joined in January. Thanks, everybody, for calling in this evening. Have a great evening, and I look forward to doing this again with you next week. God bless.